This is me attempting to record commentary on my match to share with teammates and peers and family about what's going on in my head during this match, what the experience is like, so on and so forth. Um, I've not done this before. I've tried recording this a couple times and screwed up for technical reasons, but I've not really done commentary before, so you get what you get. This is Subspectrum, February 2025. This is 40 plus, under 210 advanced, no gi obviously. I'm the guy on the right in the blue shorts. Guy in the black shorts, black top on the left is my opponent, whose name I don't have handy. Um, anyway, we're twinsies because we're both middle-aged men. Um, you can see the clock straight behind the ref. 6-minute match. The first 3 minutes are unscored. Second 3 minutes are scored. And then in the event of a tie, there is a sudden death overtime. Let's see here. This is an interesting experience for me. I'm traveling for this tournament. I'm actually competing in the church that I grew up in, so this is weird for me. That's half the reason why I'm there, is just for that experience. Because of that and other reasons, I come in. I mean, I always come in flat, but I come in super flat, just for a lot of distraction going on. Let's see. To set things up, I am going to look for an underhook with my left arm and a wrist grip with my right arm, either to move to the back or try to move into a throw. And that's what's in my brain as I'm stepping on the mat here. So I will try to pause this frequently. I may even pull up the volume or whatever occasionally, but we'll just kind of see how this goes. All right. So coming out, slap and a bump. Okay, so I'm reaching. My hand is high. I hadn't caught this exact second before, so my hand is high. He's controlling my near wrist. I've grabbed his far wrist, so I've like reversed my priorities. I've grabbed his far wrist first. That should be my second move. Oops, let's escape that. Okay. So we missed a moment there, and it's really hard to scrub in this setup. But you can see that he's got an underhook, which is what I wanted. I've now gone to like a really defensive whizzer. My foot position is bad, so I'm obviously all my weight is back on my right foot. My left foot is light. I want to, at this point, I'm just trying to recover my position is what's in my head. I don't know what I would tell myself outside of that. Like this underhook that he has is bad for me as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure somebody that's better at judo could see that differently, but there it is. So he bumps. I circle away so that he doesn't get like a throw out of it. He does a great job. I've got a couple. That's a really interesting frame to catch. So he does a great job of lifting that wrist. I didn't catch this before, and he's gonna duck under that side. I'll tell you right now. There he goes. He's ducked under. Ref stepped in the way, but he's locked his hands around my waist. You can see that I'm on my left foot. My right foot is cleanly off the ground, and now both my feet are cleanly off the ground. Props to this guy. I mean, he's a 40-something-year-old man picking up another 40-something-year-old man that are over. We're both 200 pounds. So he picks me up nice and high. As you can tell, we're coming down quick. To be clear, this is his left foot is on the mat. This is, I would argue, not a slam, but that's the non-technically. I describe this as being slammed. Technically speaking, it is not a slam, but what I mean is I come down hard. Boom! You see me bounce. At this point, I'm locking up guard defensively, but like my mind is checking in on my body. It hurts. All right, we get a stoppage here for edge of mat. All right, so normally I pop up and jog back in, but my back hurts. I'm checking. I think one of my ribs is goofy. Can't tell. It wasn't long term, but my back does hurt still. All right, so we set up in close guard. All right, so this is going to be the exchange throughout most of the match. Get used to this look. Close guard. I'm on my right side because that's the direction I play. He's got this tight waist. His head is to the inside. Right now, I've got my left hand under his head. I'm trying to like lift his head with my forearm. I want to play for that arm that we can see poking out behind him. This is probably, this is one of the better times of this. I'll show you what the position he gets into here in a second, which is where he's been. This is okay, so this is where I spend most of the time. The difference being, you see how my hand is up and over his head. He stays nice and low and slow. This waist this tight waist is nice and low. I am unable to get my hand under it for most of the match, which is where I want it to be. So I'm playing for his far arm. It looks like you can see my toes sticking out there, so I'm still in close guard at this moment. Okay, so he stuffed my foot. You see the foot come through underneath here. So now I'm in half guard, which is fine. I don't have a problem with being in half guard there. I do some things wrong here, but so what I would tell myself if I were cornering for myself right now is that I need to set up a knee lever. To do that, I need to put both my feet down outside his foot and bump him towards the camera. For the next 5 minutes, I won't do that. So get used to that. I will continue to play for that far arm. All right, so anytime you see me turn up on my shoulder like that, it means I've got a grip on the far arm. So I'm trying to lock up a Kimura on that far arm, and anytime I belly down like that, it's because I've actually got it and I'm putting weight through his shoulder now. Defensively, he's going to pull his far hand under his body, and there's a lot of things that can go on there, but he's trying to defensively get his hand back. All right, so he just got his hand back, came to the crossface. It's not a tight crossface. We'll get back to this exchange multiple times. I've got an okay frame here with my right arm, which is down. My left arm is at this point, I think, under his body. Yeah, I'm trying to recover from that Kimura grip I had, and I know that tight waist is there. There it is. So I just switched to a tight waist. I'm now trying to build up, because if I stay down, he's going to darce me. If I build up, there are sweeps available. So this is him trying to set up that darce. It's not correct, but he's working on it. He wants to get me flat and try to bend me in. So I bumped him because he had no post. He does post out, so I don't get the sweep out of it. But you can see that I'm pushing on his near side leg. I'm drawing this right leg in because I'm going to throw him back into close guard and make him rebuild this position. And there we are. He's lost this position. He doesn't have enough of a chin strap to make a strangle out of it. He's trying to get his hand in there to like set up a guillotine, but it's not going to happen. He's tight enough and the grip is shot enough. All right, so we're back here. I mentioned earlier you're going to see this over and over. So I'm trying to move his head a little bit there, and then I'm back to gripping that. He's trying to staple my arm. So we're obviously hand fighting on this near side. And, if you're watching this, like not being a jiu-jitsu person, it looks like we're not doing much, and there's some valid argument there. But most of what's going on here is that hand fight over there. He's keeping his head nice and low to prevent me from getting a really good grip on this arm. And that tight waist prevents me from underhooking like what I did for that last exchange. He's stapling. It's not really doing much. He's put his hand on my knee, which tells me that his hand is available for me to grab. I never do figure out like how he wants this pass to go, what he thinks he's going to get. So he covers my knee, which is really good. This is the moment where I definitely should be sweeping him back to the left. His posts are all shot over there. He's really extended out. I'm laser focused on this arm when I need to be a little more diverse and trying to hit that other side. If nothing else, it would pop that arm out on that far side. He's digging for, it's kind of an underhook, kind of a crossface. Maybe he's just being indecisive. I'm having my own decision-making problems. I think he's doing the same. So he started a crossface. I still am over his head, which is a useless place for my arm to be. I need to figure out something better to do there. But I'm comfortable. I'm nose breathing. All right, so his hips are high, and I'm nervous about him getting his knee all the way through, so I suck him back into close guard. And you can see I'm latched up on this arm over here. I was briefly. He's extended it out now, so I've lost that. So he's sitting tall, trying to break him down. He pins my arms down. I take them over my head to clear one arm. So my left arm is free, my right arm is pinned. That's fine. He's leaning on my neck. It's nothing. It's just kind of a frustration thing. He's trying to like get a pass. Okay, so This is not the best angle, and if I had more skills, I would cut in my shot, which is kind of from 90 degrees off from this. But basically, he's posted up on all four limbs, as you can see. And so when he does that, my hands will trap his right side shoulder. So I'm trapping my hands around his shoulder. I'm putting pressure up into his neck, not to do anything to his neck, but because I want to lever him into the ref. Now my right foot, I open my legs because my right foot wants to scoop under his left thigh to help that happen. We're gonna have this exchange for a minute. It'll kind of like come and go for a minute, and I'll probably pause it. But so you'll see my hips switch here in a second. There, there, there. So that's me trying to make a little space to get that foot underneath there. I assume he's like aware of what I'm doing, and that's why he's closing in that space, as he doesn't want to let me have that hook. I'm still committed to that shoulder, but so from seeing this from the other angle, what I know is that I was having trouble keeping his shoulder in. Like if you think about your arm out in front of you and your shoulder, like that kind of 90-degree bend, what I need to do is put enough pressure that shoulder kind of hyperextends in. And he was doing a good job of pushing his shoulder backwards, so I can't get that hyperextension. So in this moment, I'm still on that shoulder, but he's pulled his shoulder out of danger, even though I'm still near it, and that's why my feet go back closed. All right, my feet will come open here in a second. There. So when he reset, I grabbed that shoulder again, and I got a good lock on it. And my foot is open again because I'm going to hunt for that leg, and that's why I'm starting to turn that direction. His left hand is coming up to push my foot off. It's not going to matter immediately, but it actually helps him out a bunch in the long term. So I went under. I didn't actually even hook him over. He just kind of tumbled the moment that I got his pressure off of me. But you see that his foot, like, very instinctually lands in a nice back step to prevent him from going all the way over. So his hips are still higher than mine. I need to get my hips up and over his. Both my hands are committed to the shoulder that is near me right now. And if you recall, I mentioned that his hand was coming out from my knee. His hand is still on my knee. I don't know if he knows that, if it's a part of his defense. I don't normally see that as a defense, but it actually works extremely well here. So right there, you can barely see just the difference in our skin tone. You can see his like slightly redder skin tone behind my very pale shin. That's his hand preventing my hips from coming over. So that's enough to keep my hips from coming over. I've heard from a couple people I need to let go of the shoulder to climb up. I'm pretty sure if and when I let go of the shoulder, like this whole thing is just done because that tension in the shoulder is what's making it happen. But I've heard that from people that know more than I do, so it's something to play with. But now we're stuck because he's pushing that knee and I cannot get my hips over. And so I have to concede this sweep back to him. You can see his arm there kind of floating around near my head, and that's that clamp shoulder. So he hops over. He does a good job of trying to make the most of that, like coming back over. He lands back in half guard. My knee is leading there. We're back to that same exchange we had a while ago that you've seen a bunch of. He's got both hands in. He goes back to the tight waist, head on the inside, turns to face me this time, which he hasn't been doing. So that I've seen this match a few times now, and I've never noticed. So this is the first time where he really like goes 90 degrees, which is how I would address this situation if I were in his shoes. But we have different styles, and I'm definitely not saying he had it incorrect. I just don't know what he was going for. All right, so he's creeping his knee up there. My knee is fully through. All right, so I think he's got a crossface. This is where he's definitely got the better position for these next couple minutes, honestly. He's got a crossface. My left arm is isolated, and I kept waiting for him to do anything with it. But he's really sticking with like this control position that he's got. And it works well enough for him. I mean, he will control this. So right now, I want to get my arm back. I'm not doing an effective job of that. My right arm is framing off his hips. My leg is controlling his leg. I'm waiting for him to do anything. You can see me occasionally like hunt for that underhook, but he's done a really good job of controlling that space this whole match. So what you're seeing with my right hand is he's trying to bring his knee into my hip, and I'm keeping my elbow between his knee and my hip so that he can't have that space. If I give up that space, we're done. So just framing. I'm staying tight to his hips because he's doing a good job of like starting to. So he's like making some space now, trying to kill my hips and then make some space, and I'm staying tight to his hips so that he can't easily pass. I should mention, so I mentioned early on, I think I mentioned in the beginning of this recording, so the first 3 minutes are unscored. Now we're in scoring territory. So there's 2 minutes and 12 seconds left. For the last 48 seconds, we've been in scoring territory. So if he comes over, I give up, 3 for the pass, I think. And that would decide the way that this goes, that would potentially decide the match. I also really just want to scoop my hips out that direction and do anything I can to make space. So now he's just leaning on my neck. This is, this seems like a guy who's maybe used to just being the strongest guy in the room. He does a lot of leaning on your neck. He's trying to like power my arm up. He's got the arm isolated, so I don't understand what he's going for. I'm sure he has something in mind that I'm just unaware of, which maybe would have gone bad for me had he gotten what he wanted. I mean, he's kind of shoulder clamping me the way that I shoulder clamped him, but normally that's a bottom guy move, so not sure. I guess he's trying to blade me up, which would be like a Darce setup, but he hasn't really shown a proclivity for the Darce. So leaning on the neck. Still have my frames. I have my frames, but I don't have control. Trying to bump. He's got my bumps are nothing. So here I've he kind of postured up and I tried to pop him a little higher. Didn't really do much with it. He's trying to shuffle away from my half guard. We're back in that same position we've been in pretty much all match. Inside head position. He's trying to, that left hand has got a hold of my wrist. He's trying to staple my right hand under his shin. I've moved to a lockdown because he started to put enough pressure on my neck that's annoying me. I've now juggled to the tight waist position, but I'm too low. So my neck is exposed at this moment. I need to build up. I should be putting my right hand out here to bring myself up to meet him. He's got a crossface. I see his fingers peeking over there. So I have the underhook, although it's not super active. If you notice, it's just resting on my knee, which is intentional for me at this point. Because if I were to really stick my hand out there, it sets up too many options. I kind of keep it on the slide that it's there. It's fine. And he gives me a nice deep underhook. It's surprising that he would give up so much position there. I think he's thinking about the Darce. I'm certainly not out of Darce danger. He goes back to take back his underhook. He realized he was not in a great spot. I pummel. All right, so we're back in this position where I've got it's a soft underhook. He's going to pummel back for it. You can see him reaching for my hand. He's trying to go underneath. So we're in the opposite position I've been in the most of this match, where I've got the underhook and he realizes he can't get into it, so he's got this whizzer. I need to activate my feet, okay, so I did that little bump, and I've still got the underhook in there, and I finally built up to my elbow. So I'm going to try to bring my body into his body. He digs back and gets the underhook and smashes me back down. So we're back to where we were. This position kind of is this whole match. Let's see, ref's in the way. Okay, so we've got 16 seconds left. At this point, I'd managed to latch on to a Kimura that you won't be able to see from this angle. I'm going to turn the volume up. It doesn't matter, you can't hear it. But I've latched onto a Kimura. You'll see my hips will lift even higher. I think I mentioned earlier that when you see my hips go up like that, it means I've latched onto the Kimura and I'm trying to set it up for something. I don't know how much time is left at this point when I'm under there. I haven't seen the scoreboard in a long time. So I don't know how much time is left. I do know that the match is mostly over though. I'm aware that I need to end this match. When I grab this Kimura, I'm expecting a reaction that won't come. Let's see here. So I've got it. I've settled in. 10 seconds, 9 seconds. So I'm thinking, okay, this guy is going to try to power up out of this Kimura. If I recall, he liked to extend his arm down towards his legs. But I'm waiting for him to power up which gives me the opportunity to try to do a back take. I don't realize I'm quite this close, so I'm thinking I'm going to swing out, take his back, get some points in this match. He's not doing it, and so you see my foot just moved up to his calf there. It's because I want my right leg to be free for that back take I just described. I need to free that up. I need him to not be sitting on it. So that's why I'm scooting my hips out. Scooting my hips out. Now, 6 seconds left. The ref is starting to keep an eye on the clock. I've got the Kimura still locked up, and I'm, again, don't realize quite how tight this is, but I'm thinking, all right, he's not doing the thing I want. I need to go for the sweep. His hand is behind my hips right now, which will prevent that sweep that I want. But I make a little space there. And now he tucks his hand in. This gives me the green light to go for that sweep. However, there's 2 seconds left. There's 1 second left. That leg, I'm a little annoyed that I got that leg floating up there, but I'm at this point, I want to take him to my left as hard as I can. And this is going to not get me quite the shot that I want, but there's 1 second left. And there's 0 seconds left, and what you see right there is his hand hovering above his back because I've just snapped him into a Kimura position. He's literal second or seconds from needing to tap. However, there are literally no seconds left. Ref calls time. We exchange a bit of a laugh about it because we both know what just happened. Now, we're in sudden death, so match isn't over. Somebody's got to get a point. Remember, he got the first takedown on me. So, slap, bump. He gets the underhook right away. Like, I did a terrible job, once again, of getting my underhook. I have no control here. But I managed to get his head down, so I snap him down to a front headlock position. If I were better at this, I would immediately get up and go. Why am I on my knees? I don't know. I'm being lazy. I need to get up on my toes. I need to pass right now. That hand is down. It's messing with my hand. This is my chance. Instead, I kind of slink over there. He puts his arm out, which is, of course, exactly the thing you should do, and you had all the time in the world to do it. So now I need to go around, either go over his arm or go around the other side. And he's got a long enough reach that I can't clear my hips easily. So I reach for that ankle. I want to pull on that ankle, and he feels me do it, and he starts to draw my hips in. I get a nice deep underhook and try to cow catcher him over. He backsteps to prevent the cow catcher. Good job. Pull him back down. Now, on my other angle, you can't see any of this, so it's cool to get to see it so close to the camera. So I still have an underhook on the far side. Push down, push down. Go for it again. I didn't clear the arm. I gave it a little push, but not nearly enough. If I had cleared it, it would have changed everything that's about to happen. And I try to come up and around while he's, I think, broken down. He's not. He's got a really good position. I totally misread the situation. And he, once again, for the second time this match, locks up around my waist and picks me cleanly off the ground. I, in this moment, am honestly thinking the most about how much I still hurt from the last time he put me down. And I know that the floor is very close to us. So there's the white mat, white mat, black wood floor. But to his credit, he dropped to his knees and set me down. All I can really do at this point is acknowledge that he got a nice takedown and a pass. So that's all I do. Good job, you. All right, so that was my first of 2 matches. I'm going to save this, and hopefully everything's saved as expected, and then I will post it.